The birth injury team at Levin Perconti tried a case 3 years ago in Charleston, Illinois, where a child suffered a birth injury, hypoxic-ischaemic encephalopathy, from oxygen deprivation. Part of our job was to investigate how that happened and why she ended up suffering the injuries she did. What we discovered is that her mom had what's called a placental abruption while at home. And that's where the placenta starts to tear away from the uterus. It's an emergent condition that requires delivery of the baby, especially when it's impacting oxygen delivery to the baby in utero. Mom was taken by an ambulance to the hospital where she presented with all the signs you would expect of a placental abruption. She had bleeding, she had changes in the fetal heart rate, she had pain, and the nurse at the hospital knew what it was. She knew what she was encountering, but the doctor was at home, and the doctor was relying on that nurse to provide information to him to know whether he needed to come to the hospital and deliver the baby safely. Instead, what happened is the nurse and doctor had a conversation in which she claims she knew it was a placental abruption, and he, at the end of the conversation, was left with the understanding that it was just normal bleeding that happens in pregnancy. And so what happened? He stayed home. He didn't come to the hospital when he was needed. And instead, what was allowed to happen is that the fetal heart rate monitor, it got worse and worse, showing that the baby was suffering more and more oxygen deprivation until it became a true emergency. At that point, he was finally called, brought to the hospital, and delivered. That's a case where we were able to figure out what happened and to successfully show the jury that this was a preventable situation, that had she been delivered right when she got to the hospital, the brain injury would have been avoided.